All right, g'day. Here we are, live from the high seas of the Caribbean, and week number 8. Are we, Scott?
Yeah, I think
I'm
we're on
still
8.
week 8. I'm still like when I left port last Sunday night. There was I think it was 26-16, and Denver were toast. And then when I got some Wi-Fi on Monday, out in the middle of the ocean, somewhere near Bahamas, they won 33-32. So I still have 4 survivors left. So I feel like I'm free rolling on at least 2 of them. Browns, which was, I thought, a questionable pick, but there was 140 odd people that followed me in there. What do you want to start with, Survivor or Millions?
Let's start with Millions. It's going to be easier to talk about. But before we talk about anything, let's talk about the boat you're on. Because I have to sail on Princess. Every time I go somewhere, because I've been on 3 different cruise lines, Princess is head and shoulders above everybody else. This podcast is not sponsored by Princess, but I would refuse to go on any other cruise line. So tell me, are you on a Princess ship?
No, I'm on MSC, and I tell you what, this is impressive. One, this boat's 3 or 4 years old. The food's been fantastic, which is usually the thing that's not very good on these things. Being in Jamaica so many years, I've tested all their all-inclusives because generally we could get local rates. So every now and again, we just go stay at them. You get the drinks package and the Wi-Fi, the food's included. There's nothing else that I really need, and I'm just floating from island to island. We did miss Jamaica and the Cayman because the hurricane coming through, so we ended up in Mexico. Didn't seem too bad, tequila and whatnot. But yeah, this is a European cruise line, I believe. It's only the second cruise I've ever done. I've avoided them like the plague forever and ever. But once you've got enough kids and you want to lock them in one place, all-inclusive cruise ships seem like the way to go. But yeah, I definitely do this again. And Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi has been spectacular, and that's the only thing I really need ultimately to continue on life. See scores, watch games, do these shows is have Wi-Fi. So yeah, it's been good.
Sounds great. I absolutely love cruising. But we'll go ahead and get started so I won't show my jealousy too much. The very first most popular picked Millions game is none other than the Texans. You have a good story here on the Texans?
No, not really. But this is one of those ones I think where, the line was 1.5 on the contest. It's been 2.5, pretty strong all week. Super low volume on this game. Oddly enough, 66% of the money is on San Francisco, generally a +2, +2.5, and there is no master action to speak of. So, while the biggest one in the picks, I think, again, just the number played it out. No real betting action or root for right now for tomorrow.
Okay, and then the second most popular team. Everybody calls them the Survivor Killer. I call them the Bengals. How are the Bengals looking on your chart?
Well, super high volume on this game, and well balanced. On the master side, 64% of it is on the Jets. But I think this was another one where Jets +6.5 in the contest, been a strong 6 all week, and the master money showing up on the Jets as well, when it was 6.5, particular +7. I know this is like game number 5 on the Survivor as well. But yeah, this is probably the biggest bet game of the day. It's super well balanced tomorrow, which surprised me with these 2 teams.
Okay, well, I guess that won't be play of the day then. And here, number 3, this one I think is interesting because we've seen this team over and over and over again. I believe there's a lot of originators out there that are greatly valuing this team, especially based on all the phone calls I've received all week. And that's none other than the Giants. Tell me there's super money on the Giants on this one. Master money, that is.
No, it's 86% of the money's on Philly. 87% of the master money's on Philly. I think it's, again, that hook, the 7.5 in the contest, pretty solid at 7 on the number all week. And I think that's where, got most of the action here.
Okay. I just know we talk about the Giants most weeks. And I've gotten some calls about them this week. So I thought maybe you would talk about some master money. But since you didn't, let's go south a little bit. Let's talk about the Tampa Bay Bucks. How about some master money on this one? This was the number 4 picked game in the contest.
Yeah, so this is really low volume. 76% of the money's on the Saints. 98% of the master money's on the Saints. We know what happened to those Saints backers against the Bears, but it seems like they're coming again for them. So super low volume, so it's not like it's a big risk game. Won't take much to sort of balance it out. But right now, the Saints are seeing the money there for us.
Gotcha. Okay. I don't know if you heard the dogs barking, but the dogs are barking, but they sure didn't in that Nebraska game, did they? That's what you call a nice rocking chair win. Never a doubt. Let's talk about number 5 here real quick before you comment. And that is supposed to be the most played game of the weekend, but it turned out not to be. This is none other than the Colts. How about master money on this one?
So this one, super low volume again. I know this is like number 2 pick in the Survivor. 84% of the money is on the Colts, and generally it's all parlays and not a single penny on the master chart. But the one that you did have equal there was the Ravens-Bears, which is quite, insane that it was a high number because of where the number's at now. Obviously, we'll see how the actual circa versus the proxy plays play, where people may have had that opportunity to play the Bears hard now that the line's 2. Contest line was 6.5. We're still seeing 62% of the money on the Ravens. Masters fairly well balanced. Obviously betting all over the place with it being 6.5, thinking that the quarterback was playing. Now it's like 2, seeing like he's out. But oddly enough, not a lot of action at the new numbers. So we were really well balanced from the Masters at the 6.5 and 7. Good action as well. But since the numbers changed and significantly dropped, there hasn't been a lot of action yet to find where that number belongs.
Yeah, I'm getting the same kind of phone calls. The originators that I talk to, they're both telling me this the opposite thing. So I don't have any idea where that game's going. But now let's talk about what everybody wants us to talk about, and that's Survivor. And again, I told you, I thought I would enter Colts, and Colts. And it took a while before I entered my first Colts last night when I was entering the picks. Number 1, overwhelming pick, the Atlanta Falcons. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, so I used these in one. But when I looked at the charts, we are so heavy on the Falcons. 92% of the money line action, 78% of all spread bets, 50-50 on the master chart. So I did use them, but I didn't play my second pick that I had sort of hanging there on them. I was back and forth between them and the other team I played. But yeah, right now it's all Falcons money. I know they've got few players out, some questionable stuff going on there. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. While I have them in one of mine, I think that's going to be a big number play on the Falcons. So I wouldn't mind losing that one if I can keep the other 3 alive, because I think that'll work out percentage wise.
That sounds like you're calling that one play of the day. Am I right?
No, I'm not. But I would like to see the Falcons go down. I think that would help my circa, as long as the others get through. I don't want them all to go down tomorrow.
All right, we won't do that then. Let's talk about number 2, and this is the one I thought everybody was going to have on every card. This is the Colts. You want to talk about this one again?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I only had them available in one of my 4. I used them in one of my 4. I think that was sort of, a lot of people had used them. I did hear something about there was 39% of all entries did have them available. I suspect they'll be, used fairly solidly, but there is one other opportunity, I think, later on to use them. But I used them in all the spots that I could where they were unused.
All right, let's go to number 3. These guys are having an okay year. This is the Patriots. What do you think about the Patriots and the master money?
So Browns did me right last week, so I hope they do me right this week as well and lose the game. Pats, I was using one. I ended up using 2 on them. Super low volume, 71.5% of the money on the Pats. 84% of the master money is on the Pats as well. majority of it at the -6.5. Right now, from what I'm seeing, I hope they're right. I hope this is an easy one, no sweat day, just like the Browns did us for us last week, but go in the other direction. So yeah, it's a low volume game, but half of my survival relies on the Pats tomorrow.
I gotcha. And here's a team we talk about just about every single week in Survivor. This time it's the Buffalo Bills. How about the? I feels like we're not coming up with your play of the day yet. And so far I'm out of guesses what the play of the day is. So I'm really excited. Maybe it's the Buffalo Bills.
No, it's not the Buffalo Bills. We got 97% of the money on the money line. There is the Bills. 86.5% on the points is Buffalo. 62% of the master money is on Buffalo. It's pretty much solid at -7 plus 7.5, sort of back and forth there. But yeah, it seems like a pretty straightforward game there. Buffalo should win. I don't know if I have them available anywhere anyway, but yeah, I mean, take them down as well, I guess.
All right, and this is the team I hate to say in Survivor. This is the number one team. We've talked about them already. This is the Bengals. I've got a real problem with the Bengals this week, and a couple of my really, really good friends have the Bengals in Survivor. I've got to get that fixed next year in the Survivor to make them unselectable. But so far, they're still selectable, and a couple of great friends picked them. Give me some good news about the Bengals in the Survivor pool.
Well, again, as I said, it's super high volume game. It's the Bengals. I'm going to have to use them at some point, and maybe it's the last week against Cleveland at home. Maybe they got Burrows back. Maybe, it's the Bengals. So I do, for their sake, hope the Bengals get through. Jets 0-6, hopefully 0-7, but that one scared me, so I stayed away from it instead of spreading out a fourth one into Cincinnati. Stuck with Indy in the one I could, the Pats in the 2, and the Falcons in the other one. Save KC. I said if the Browns got through last week, I'd save KC until that time to use them comes along. But as you've seen, right now there is no data play of the day sticking out, so we haven't got anything right now. But I will check the charts again in the morning and see if anything pops up. But yeah, not pushing the luck this week. There was nothing that really jumped out. Would like to see the Falcons go down. But yeah, right now, nothing's jumping out.
Okay. Well, let's talk about, since you're not going to talk about your play of the day, you're going to hold that for the morning. Let's talk about the industry in general for a minute. How are the pros doing this year in Arizona compared to Ohio, compared to New Jersey? And how are the Joes doing in those three states?
So Ohio's tough. We just struggle in Ohio. Even with our, one big bridge jumper that plays, he is controlling our destiny at the moment. He's been on a pretty hot run. Besides him, it's sort of break square, small loser, small winner each week going through. New Jersey's been great, and I put that down to all the arbitrages and that, doing the, gambling gods good work, treating the good bookies the right way, taking it from the bad bookies, those kind of things seem to be working in New Jersey. Arizona's been nice and, tiny and tight, small wins, chipping along there. And then Kentucky this week, we had 2 or 3 really, really big days there. So, just chipping away as we go. Hopefully some big things on the horizon. And, get ready, get through football, get through a World Cup, another football season. It's a big 16 to 18 months ahead of us.
Yeah, and I'm really looking forward to that. But are you willing to spill the beans here and tell us what the next state target is?
Right now, there is no new state targets. There is a few things on the short-term horizon that may change the landscape a little bit. But, we're just fighting our way through it. The prediction markets of the world seem to be just grabbing more turf, getting more, freebies and whatnot into the market now, sponsored by one of the big 4 American professional leagues. Obviously, we had all the NBA stuff come out this week. For me, that's just showing that all of this is working. that shit's been happening for 30, 40 years. So, those that are clutching their pearls, this is expected. It's working. You regulated something and now it's working. You're finding out this information that you didn't find out many years before when this was happening. So, the industry's in a flux, good and bad in some people's eyes, but we'll soldier on, keep taking bets, and just trying to survive.
That's all we can do. Well, I guess if you don't have any play of the day, we've went over the industry in general. And of course, we did talk just a moment. I'll let you criticize the Huskers if you want to, but that was a nice rocking chair win. You did have that typo in your tweet this morning about playing when you should have said winning, which I corrected for you. But another big win for the Huskers. On track for the playoffs. That's all we want. Get them in the playoffs. Then watch out. Nebraska's back. I'm very proud of the Huskers.
Okay, that's good to hear, and it's always good to have you in a good mood when it comes to Saturday evening, afternoon. So, good result.
Very good result. But I think that's about all we have this week. Always good to talk to you. I guess we'll talk to you next week and bring up if it's chaos this week or if it's calm. Whatever it is, we'll be here at about 4 o'clock.
All right. Cheers, everyone, and good luck tomorrow.
Go Big Red.